mine, and that would be Harry Hubbard, also another top-notch researcher. Harry was initially done a lot of stuff in his life, but you would know Harry when it comes to something called the Illinois Caves. If anybody here is from Illinois, if anybody here is into ancient artifacts and forbidden archaeology, then you might know Harry. You might have even seen Harry on an episode of, what was that show that you were on?
America Unearthed.
Was it America Uncovered or was it America Unearthed?
America Unearthed on History Channel.
On History Channel. Okay, good stuff. All right, well, Harry, thanks for joining us tonight, buddy. What's going on?
Well, brother, I am happy. I am so happy that there was a run on toilet paper. Because if it had been the next aisle over, the sanitary hygiene napkin.
Yeah.
I mean, those shelves were full. They
put down your.
We're packed full, and that's like, man, people know what the priorities are here.
It's what's so funny is that the CV-19 doesn't affect your digestive system. And I couldn't believe that was the first thing that people bought. Cans and cans of vegetables and beans, and nobody bought any of the non-perishable food. All they bought was toilet.
My question is, what are they going to buy for the next pandemic? Well, we've got plenty of toilet paper. How about some of those, feminine napkins or something? Yeah, let's get a few things for that. But
Harry,
anyway,
tell the audience where your channel is.
It's just so much fun these days. Oops.
I call myself a philobibliac.
I have also put that into the description below, you guys.
The Illinois Caves YouTube channel or Harry Hubbard search, either one, it goes to the same place.
Yes.
Thanks to you, brother.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. So, people don't know this,
brother.
But Harry and I know each other
because
we met.
What's
I
up?
was doing research. I was doing research on ancient artifacts and on places in America that perhaps were not publicized. And I came across Harry's information, sent him an email. He wrote me back, and we became fast friends. And we used to. I did plenty of work for him. I helped Harry with a couple of websites. I used to get him booked on shows and stuff. It was
all over the world, and you produced videos, you filmed videos,
everything.
A dozen videos. Excuse me, your audience probably is not aware that you designed YouTube pages and Facebook pages for many famous people.
I did, yes.
Famous people.
Which I don't publicize just because I.
But I'm the last one standing.
From famous people, he doesn't publicize. This is a show by some guy named Red Pill 78. So he doesn't want to publicize, probably because they wouldn't want him to do their websites anymore. So it'd be a real shame if people find out about this freaking dweeb, and I'm not gonna swear. I want to say just all the swears. I'm pissed. I'm angry. Oh, but it's it's all good because I've got my friends here. We're going to do a show. He sounds like a great guy. Just one of these classic dweebos that's also into some horrible right-wing crap. And he's best friends with the guy who we're going to talk about today, and he believes all this junk that he's selling, so he must be a really smart guy to be buying into this stupid crap. I'm not supposed to say that. I'm not supposed to talk bad about this stuff, but you know what? I'm angry. I'm pissed. I could just scream right now. This is gonna be like the Primal Scream with John Lennon and the other guy when they were doing back when they did Primal Scream therapy is what I need to get into. Let's see. This is some nice music though. Here we go. I got a new sound. Check this out. Won't be playing that one today, probably. Hey, everybody! It's Beowulf here at the Cool Stream. We're gonna uncover the truth behind the caves and let's start turning into one of these guys.
Homo just got busted with a whole stockpile of ventilators. They've been saying that President Trump and the administration haven't been getting the respirators and the ventilators to them, but then it turns out they've got over 10,000 of them sitting in storage someplace.
Well, there's more than that. They're busting people with masks, ventilators.
I went to the wrong part of. He also I don't want to say any of these names. I hate this crap, but he does interview Harry Hubbard, who's our
Clarity of the scarcity from my ancient coin videos, because I collect ancient coins for decades also.
Harry, let me just say, Candace Estave or Estee.
Okay, I can't watch this. Making me mad. I don't like these people. And by these people, I mean these freaking right-wing nut jobs. I don't play them on the show. I don't like them. I don't want to talk about them. I thought about doing some more political-related stuff on an episode. I'm just airing it all out today, but I'm not going to do it. But we are going to talk about this guy. It's going to be fun, hopefully. Sounds like I need to take a moment to nestle. I do need to connect to my source. That's what I need to be watching right now. Do I have a minute to get some Annie Brown in here? I got a few minutes. Okay, let's do some of that. That'll cheer me up. Nestle. Brown 7. Here we go. Anna Brown 7. Nestle.
Fear is always a sign for more love to our own hearts. It's almost like a siren that goes off that's telling you your heart is closing. Wow. It's telling you where to place your awareness, where to place your love, and where to place your attention inward. Okay, so
that's right.
Fear is very intimate.
I'm afraid.
In the sense that it can take you over very quickly because it's very strong. So you need a very strong awareness, a very strong presence. Okay? But the ultimate salve is self-love. Self-love is like a wet blanket on a fire of fear. It extinguishes
like a wet blanket.
You see? But
I want to be like a wet blanket today before I do the show. That's right. We're all a little bit scared out there these days, and that does stuff to you.
Have to have the courage to love our hearts. We have to have the stillness and the patience and the compassion for ourselves to love that fear. Because when you love the fear in your body, you're loving the fear that's spread across the whole planetary consciousness.
Oh,
when
yeah.
You love you.
We gotta love it. We love it. We love doing the show and the cool stream, and so here we are. We're doing it. This will help us get through all the crazy stuff going on today to do another cool stream. All right, so let it get strapped in, get your laptops, crack them out, and get it open, because here we go. It's It's the Cool Stream, everybody. It's time to do another show. Drop everything you're doing right now. Run to your freaking laptops, crack them open, get your iced coffee, and get in here. It's time for the Cool Stream. We got a crazy weird episode today, because we did a whole lot of fun episodes, and now you have to get into some weird stuff today. So that's what we're going to do. We're starting a new series about some of the Cool Stream legends that have been on the show these past few years, 1 year to be precise, 60 freaking episodes. We're going back, we're revisiting some old things, some old crazy cool characters. It's going to be a lot of fun on the Cool Stream. Wow. Yeah, that's right, it's the Cool Stream. It's time to talk about all kinds of weird, crazy stuff on the web. Watch some videos, look at some websites. What else are you doing? Just come on in. It's fun. Get in the cool lounge, get all the emotes, sound alerts, and the stickers, and do your thing. Watch the show. I'll be here for the next hour or so, uncovering all the truths behind some of these weird and wild stuff that we got going on these days. That's right, it's the Cool Stream. We're not talking about any current events. We're talking about something that happened way back when, in the 80s or something, and a crazy character who started it all. It's going to be pretty fun. So I'm nestled in. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do the show. We're going to have some updates related to some of the stuff that went down on this week's cool podcast, because it all ties together, and the yarns are coming together on the bulletin board as we speak, and I'll get that posted here shortly so you can see how everything's connected. So we got some updates on that. We're going to do the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got your laptops open, get my coffee. What else am I supposed to say here? We'll post everything up onto YouTube, and you can check out the Cool Stream YouTube to watch all the cool archives. And you can subscribe to the Cool Stream Patreon, which is cool too. All right, does that cover everything? Are we ready to go? Let's do this. We got a weird one today. It's been a while since we've done a weird episode, so I thought, enough of this fun stuff. Everyone's out here we're doing public access. We're doing all the fun topics, and now it's time to get back into a weird topic. So I thought I would kick off a new series that I'm starting, and it's called Cool Legends. Cool Stream Cool Legends. And I'm gonna have to figure out what to title this episode when I post it, because I don't want any person related to this guy or this person specifically to find any of this. So I feel like he would harass me or something because he's a weirdo. That's right, we're talking about Harry Hubbard. Remember this guy?
I call myself a philobibliac.
That's right. We covered him way back on episode 5. What? Can you believe that? I went and looked it up to see when we did the Illinois Caves episode, and it was on episode 5. That's crazy to think about, that we've done that many episodes, 60 freaking episodes. And now we're back again to talk about this guy. You probably forgot about him. And I guess you can go back on YouTube and check that episode out if you want. Or maybe don't. Maybe don't. Maybe it's a, I hadn't quite figured things out. It's an old episode, but it could be funny. I don't know. So we'll have some updates on the stuff that he was doing. Harry Hubbard, the Illinois Caves, some of these different characters, but we'll be watching a lot of Harry Hubbard videos. Some of his tomb tapes, his Alexander Helios and his artifacts, and in addition to some newer stuff, he's in on about currency codes or something. It's very weird. Now's the time to do a deep dive into Harry Hubbard and see what he's got going on. He's a strange character. Your old episodes age much better than Ian K. Thanks. Check out Peep This Out, I guess. There's a plug. He's got some funny episodes. I haven't went back to watch that one. We'll talk some more about him in a second, but we've got to get caught up on some of these crazy storylines that happened recently. Catch everybody up. The reptilians are out in full force. Jackie Mondragon has been unmasked as a reptilian thanks to our friend Mitchell Head. And maybe we'll have him on the Cool Podcast at some point to talk some more about his theories. But she tried to get into us last week on the show, and she went full mask off, and we saw some of the crazy reptilian footage that, wow, it was scary. On the Cool Podcast, we talked to a hacker guy by the name of Paradox. And he got into the codes, and we talked all about some of the stuff that happened with the show being hacked way back in December. If you remember, we thought that we were hacked by Jeff Bezos. That's what I was led to believe by the hacker group Anonymous. But Paradox didn't seem to think so, and he told me that there was a connection between the hacker group Anonymous and Zoom Dragon, who I guess we could say are our inner enemies now because they don't like us. They're coming after us. So that's strange to hear that Anonymous have been hacking other streams, attacking people online, and also doing some stuff with Russia, which I'm not too sure about that, how all that stuff works. But that's what Paradox what me and him got into on the Cool Podcast. And I wanted to play real quick because I've been doubting this Jeff Bezos thing for a long time.
Greetings, Beowulf.
I saved the audio from Jeff Bezos' message, and I wanted to go back and listen to it. So I thought, you know what, this doesn't really even sound like him. So, is this really Jeff Bezos? And is this him? And is it going to play for everyone to hear?
Greetings, Beowulf. It's me, Jeff Bezos.
I don't know. I'm not sure if that is Jeff Bezos. And it's even said his name in a different way. So that could be a hacker group from Anonymous, an operative from Anonymous who's doing that. Kind of sounds like Jeff. I haven't heard him either. I don't want to hear what he's got to say. So Paradox is going to help us get to the bottom of one thing that's been stuck in my craw, which is, what is Mr. Rude Guy's involvement with all this? And did he play a part in the hacking stuff? So Paradox is going to get into the codes and let us know if some of the hacking that we thought was Jeff Bezos actually came from Anonymous, maybe from Mr. Rude Guy. Apparently he's somewhere in Eastern Europe right now. Maybe he's doing more hacking. We're not really sure. At some point, we have to confront this man and let him know that it's not okay to hack me. He did it once before. He might have done it again. It's not okay to hack me. And I thought we were friends. Why did you do that? I'm convinced that it wasn't Jeff Bezos. It was Anonymous this whole freaking time. Damn it. The truth finally comes out. And this is going to be a truth-filled episode because we're talking about a guy that we know and love, Harry Hubbard. I think that covers all the storylines, so we're going to get into the episode. We've only got so much time to do this. So let's do it. Let's get into Harry Hubbard. Who is this guy? Well, excuse my mouth noise. I hope that wasn't picked up on the mic. Who is this guy? Where's the website that I'm trying to look at? IllinoisCaves.com. It's still up. The biography of Harry Hubbard. He's a book collector.
I call myself a philobibliac. That's
a clip of him from one of his presentations. He calls himself a philobibliac. He's been a book collector for many years. He was born and raised in the Armuchee Valley of Northwest Georgia mountains. I've never been up there. I'd like to check it out someday. In the Northwest Georgia mountains. He traveled extensively throughout the Southeast, lived in Atlanta, Chattanooga, and Charlotte, North Carolina, before moving to Florida. He's a Florida man in 1985. He's self-educated and has always shared with others new information and discoveries he made using his collection of books, often called The Shrine. Whoa, I'd love to check out The Shrine. He collects books, and he also collects ancient coins, 16th century maps, ancient artifacts, currencies, stamps, and early 20th century electrical devices. Whoa. He became a member of the Tesla Coil Builders Association in 1986, and I count myself a member of a certain group of coil builders. Every morning after I have my morning cup of coffee, he's a cool guy.
The cool stream.
1986, he built several powerful coils and with his electrical facilities. Interesting. His interests span from history, electricity, music, writing, and business. Those are all great things to be interested in. And self-employed since 1986, when he founded Cybertech Systems in Cocoa Beach in Port Canaveral. At Cybertech Systems, he was project coordinator, serviced large accounts with project operations concerning repair and new installations of hazardous waste transfer systems, as well as industrial irrigations systems for golf courses. Cybertech Systems. That kind of has an ominous name. This is leaving out some of his most important stuff, but he did some stuff. This sounds like his freaking LinkedIn right now. Wow! 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 Rat Brother subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thanks for subscribing. Rat Brother finally catching the cool stream, and I remember Rat Brother was watching this episode way back 60 episodes ago. Harry Hubbard, the Illinois Caves, were back again, talking about this freaking guy and his tomb tapes. We'll get into it and watch some weird episodes that we did way back in the early days. So anyway, this is basically his LinkedIn talking about his electronic stuff. We don't care about much of that. He got into a music career in 1975. He founded Lazaria Music, where he coordinates services as a concert promoter. He still frequently works with his old mates Glass Hammer, as well as Michael Rapp, Wicca what? And Ted Neely. And that's interesting. Ted Neely, I'm a big fan of Jesus Christ Superstar, and was looking at that on Easter. That's normally about the time that you watch that movie, and was looking at some stuff with Ted Neely. He's still around. He played Jesus. So that's kind of cool connection there. It's all connected here on the Cool Stream. He did a lot of CDs. We'll look at some of his recording stuff, some of his videos about his recording studio. That was 2,000 years ago. That's right. That's when he died. So he did music stuff, and we also would like to mention that that's where our credits theme came from, was this Harry Hubbard video. We'll watch that. It'll be quite a big throwback from 60 freaking episodes ago. We're all about nostalgia today, and looking back at some of the old times. And I love that this website still exists. It's pretty cool. Great song. And Turbo did a remix for it. We'll play that at the end of the show. Stick around. If you're not interested, stick around the next 2 hours and hear the credit song. So, he did a bunch of stuff. He's friends with this guy, Paul Shafranky. He did an outrageous video presentation to put on Harry's maps. It was a big critical acclaim among the map collectors. He's an avid bibliophile.
I call myself a philobibliac.
He studies rocks and stuff, so it's not getting into the main. His legal name is Brian Boyd Hubbard. What? And we're not doxing him. It's on his website. His pen and stage name for years was Horatio Rabnikar, which appears on dozens of music CDs, scholarly dissertations, reports, and discourses concerning history, maps, all that good stuff. Whoa. He's written several books. Okay, so we failed one big thing, which is that we didn't look up his pen name, Horatio Rabnikar, and you can use that for your Dungeons and Dragons campaign coming up here. Horatio Rabnikar, and we'll get into all this stuff. Interesting, and I'm not seeing it. Nothing's really coming up here. Horatio Rabnikar, breaking the threefold demonic cord. Whoa. Okay, so I guess that's good. Nothing's really come up too much on that. We've got all of his videos, so let's go ahead and check one out. He's famous most of all, and I don't know why it didn't list it here. I guess because you're at Illinois Caves. You should already know this. He's famous for discovering some crazy stuff in the Illinois Caves in Illinois. He founded Alexander Helios. I got some cool music going here, so let's watch one of his videos. I just love hearing this guy talk. He's a windbag. He's in the #1 windbag. He'll talk for hours and hours. This video is about an hour and a half long. So we'll have to skip after a few minutes. We'll watch some tomb tape. We'll look at some other websites too. Alexander Helios. We'll get into some of his crazy theories too. The Doctor of Reality. No, he's the Doctor of Reality. Cybertech, a brief history of Harry Hubbard. No.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to a history of moi, yours truly, the Doctor of Reality, Harry Hubbard. This is a brief history about me and
brief history. It's an hour and a half long.
What I do, what I did, and
Where
how
did
I
you come
got here.
from? Would you like him to meet your
this
mother?
project, I suppose that I could just knock it right out. I had all these old VHS tapes. Well, it took
Love
me
VHS
hours
tapes.
to transpose those VHS tapes to SD cards. And then it took
12 VHS tapes.
hours to cut it down and edit because I had like 10 and a half hours of video that I wanted to cut down to an hour and a half.
Good luck with that.
So it's kind of chopped up a little bit, but it's cohesive and it has a flow to it.
He's got dressed
Even
in
the
scrubs
dates
for
are
some
spread
reason.
out. What you're about to see comes from the years 94, 1995, and 1996.
Oh.
It's going to show you how I lived on the road and how I lived in my homes, my condo on the beach, my ranch house in Palm Bay.
Palm Bay.
And I'm doing this for all my friends that live in Florida, Georgia, and Illinois. Because the people in Illinois, they had no clue what I did in Florida.
Dedication.
My Florida friends and co-workers, they didn't know what I did in Illinois or in Georgia or whatever. And the people in Georgia, they didn't know what went on in Florida or Illinois. And as near as I can figure, there were only 3 people that knew more of the big picture than anyone else. And that was Steve Babb and Fred Schendel, founding composers and musicians of Glass Hammer, and of course my colleague Paul Shafranca. And
Steve and Fred
I'm
visit
going to
Cocoa
be
Beach.
showing several different things
party.
that
So basically, he's known all these people throughout the years. He's withheld parts of his life from different people throughout his life. So, interesting. I wonder why that is. Could it be that he was trying to pull off some scams with some of these fake artifacts? Interesting. Shots fired against Harry Hubbard.
Unfortunately,
He's not gonna like
I
that.
can't find any footage
Glass
of my
Hammer.
recording
Okay,
studio
now we're gonna have
in
to look
Cape
that up.
Canaveral or my office in Cape Canaveral. And I don't have any footage that I can find at this time of the first couple of Glass Hammer studios, because I videotaped that too, us building studios. And unfortunately, I can't find any of my live footage of Glass Hammer either practicing or
I'd love to watch that.
or in concert. But this video might have been several hours long if I had. So I guess it's okay.
It's one and a half
I don't
hours.
have any footage of my pet snakes in their cage. I had a big cage.
I want to see the pet snakes. Miss my snakes.
At my shop in Melbourne.
The reptile ones.
Now,
what other kind of
my main
snakes are there?
company was called Cybertech Systems. And Cybertech Systems was an
Cybertech
electromechanical industrial service facility. We worked on pumps, motors for
He's a real smart
condominium
guy.
complexes in
He's a pretty smart
up and down
guy,
the beach
actually.
in Florida.
He's a bit of a know-it-all.
We did golf course and baseball field, irrigation systems, and I also worked designing and building hazardous waste transfer systems. I was OSHA
Waste
certified
acid.
level A, and that was a big part of our
fascinating stuff.
income at that time. Hence, that's where I get my background in chemistry, which I don't even do videos on.
Okay. He's a chemist.
I'm going to start with some hotel and motel rooms that I stayed at on the road. And
He
then
loves
go
to talk.
To the condo
He's a real talker.
on the ocean in Cocoa Beach.
The condo. I got to see the condo.
And then we're going to go to Mad Fat Studio,
Wow.
recording studio
Mad Fat
with my dear
Studio.
longtime friend Ken Page. We're working on a music project there, and I just set the camera up.
That sounds cool.
And from there, we're next going to step into an ancient grotto system
What?
carved into the side of a cliff just below DeSoto Falls over in Alabama. It's very interesting.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah, he loves to talk. He's a real windbag. All of his videos are very long, so we can't watch all of them. But suffice it to say, he was in cybertech systems and all this weird stuff. I pulled up his band, Glass Hammer. I guess this is his band? I don't know. I didn't do that much research. Glass Hammer. Let's see. They're progressive. Okay, so this makes sense. They're progressive rock band from Chattanooga. Steve and Fred. That's the guy he talked about. They want to record Journey of the Dunedain, a concept album based on the story of Aragorn from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. And that's, if you're doing progressive rock, you definitely want to start with some Lord of the Rings stuff. Fred Schendel. Glass Hammer. Did they mention Harry in here? Was he doing anything? He was recording them or something? Man, this is a long story. Let's see. Fred Schnendel. Let's hear what they sound like. They love progressive rock. It's good stuff. Digital download. Oh, can we hear a preview at least? Glass Hammer. Okay, maybe not. Well, check out Glass Hammer. It's the band that he recorded or something. Maybe it's on YouTube. Everything's on YouTube. La 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 la. Wow. Glass Hammer. Hammer of the gods. Yeah. Alright. Chromonaut tapes. What is this stuff? Alright, we don't have time to look into Glass Hammer, but we can check it out later. Let's see. Do I want to keep going with this video? Let's just jump ahead, because we got to get into some of the stuff about the caves. What's the point of talking about this guy? He's not even talking about the caves yet.
Place.
It
begins to take on the same shape and form as a typical hairy warehouse.
Here's his condo.
Saga of the day in life. This is at the condo. I don't know if I ever had it on video anywhere. This is coming in, and
what's going on at the bottom of the screen here?
Hallway is the lithograph collection.
Mystery Science Theater guys down here. What is that?
Kinds of neat little stuff like this. Let's see if that picks up.
Whoa. I'm gonna be like this guy when I'm old. I got all my prints from 1800.
And this is the bedroom.
Oh God, that's where the magic happens.
That's the Terra Australis map.
In the Lazaria map collection. He's a big map collector. I love maps.
Matthias Quadus.
Wonder if he's ever heard of Tartaria.
And there's part of the Kircher collection.
Alright, here it is, Mad Fat Studio. Maybe we'll hear some Glass
And that's
Hammer.
what it's like living in paradise. Alright, so
Mad Fat.
The thing starts, and you happen to do what? What do you mean? Show it to me again.
Kenneth Page on YouTube for current videos.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin.
The hell is going on?
Interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin. Flash from the Associated Press. The White House, the CBS network presents
the hell?
by the President of the United States.
White House, Washington, D.C.
SpaceOceanProductions.com. You're gonna have to check that out.
Yes, I like that. Okay. I like that. The last one to come.
I love it.
After her. Maybe while the other one. Where is that?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the White House. The White House. Washington,
Wicked,
D.C.
what?
The President
What
of the
is
United
this?
States of
I
America.
don't understand what I'm watching.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
While that music is still in the swell, to pop that other guy in. They're all going to play on top of each other.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can sequence it real easy, real fast. No problem at all.
Without having to do anything else, because we're not using any of that, right?
All I got to do is hit play, and then it'll play the whole thing. Here we go.
Mad Fat himself.
Mad Fat Studios, right here. Right here in Mad Fat Kitchen. Okay.
Mad Fat Studios. All right, we're getting way off track from Harry Hubbard, but good lord. It's just a collection of the oddest things you've ever seen on the show. Space Ocean Productions. Kenneth Page, engineered by Brian Hubbard. There he is. Some of his music. This guy from Mad Fat Studios. Doesn't really have much to do with Harry Hubbard, except he helped engineer them. This is the kind of stuff that I would just use for some of the background music. This is all music for the third millennium revolution. Oh my god. Alright. This is basically the kind of music that I've got going today. That I picked out for the show. Alright, Harry. Good God. These videos are too long. Okay, but he's famous. He's famous for the Illinois caves. Okay, so we got to get into what is that? What is that? We got to get into the Illinois caves. He's famous. He's famous for interacting with this cave in Illinois. What happened? A cave that was found by this guy Burroughs became known as Burroughs Cave. And then Harry swooped in here and he said, I found some artifacts in here too. And they're all these crazy old carvings and stuff. Artifacts. Okay, I've got to turn this off. Wow! Alright. Okay, this is a bad idea. Okay, let's get back to my music. We're off the rails. But that's how we do it on the Cool Stream. That's why people tune in. Illinois caves. So, it was some caves in Illinois discovered by a guy named Burroughs. And he said that he claimed to have found all these different gold and statues and tombs and stuff within the cave. And when people asked where it was, he said, well, I actually exploded it with dynamite. You can't find it anymore. I can't tell you where it is. But there's gold in their caves. And then Harry comes along and says, well, this is copyright of Russ Burroughs. Harry comes along and says, well, I found some artifacts in there too. The Burroughs Cave by Russell Burroughs. And apparently there's all kinds of different artifacts and stuff from all across the U.S. that people claim are from ancient people that came over around the time of the Egyptians or whatever, and I guess settled and hung out in the U.S. and then built these tombs and buried all their gold and stuff. So people were supposedly uncovering some of these ancient artifacts, and Harry was one of them. So Burroughs discovered the cave. He fell into the pit. He found himself in a chamber. Didn't have to be a genius to figure out that I'd stumbled into something that should just not be in Illinois. I found it for many artifacts of American Indians, and there are many sites in my part of the state, but I knew that this was not American Indian. What? It was some crazy Egyptian artifacts, and this is him supposedly crawling out of the cave. And here's one of his artifacts. It's made of gold. So anyway, Burroughs, he showed his artifacts. There's a bunch of carved heads and different stuff. This is authentic. Here's some bird figures here. This is authentic stuff. Some of it may have been Sumerian, Roman, Greek, Egyptian. Finally, they made a breakthrough with Paul Shafranke and Harry Hubbard himself, who helped decipher some of these. They helped decipher some of the inscriptions, and it was Latin around the time of Christ. Speaking of Jesus Christ Superstar, hard to doubt this guy. He's legit. The Florida men were able to translate some of the stone tablets, and the great epigrapher Barry Fell had insisted that they were gibberish, and they could not be translated, because it was mixed with Etruscan script, and Hebrew and Egyptian, and all that stuff. They were also identified by some other people. They dug out and classified an astonishing 4,000 tablets, another breakthrough. They found a whole bunch of tablets. Let's look at some of these things. Florida man? That's right. I'm getting distracted by Glass Hammer once again. And which website? Here we go, the artifacts. The tablets. La, 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 la. There's one of them. And these things are legit. They're from Illinois. Some different deciphering stuff. I don't know if he created these himself, these fake tablets, and I'm just saying it right now. I don't think this is real. This is all bunk. Or if he just got I'm not really sure about that. I didn't do any research, and I'm just going through this website. That's kind of how the Cool Stream works. And the internet's not working. Here we go. Some tablets with whales and dolphins and all kinds of stuff. Maybe we should just let Harry give us a tour of some of these artifacts. Here's the update with the lost tomb of Alexander. Summer of 2013.
Hello and welcome to my tiny little shop out in the middle of nowhere, Illinois, where my producer, Zach Taylor, with ZTT Consulting, has requested me to cut a new video with some old information and some new information. And we want to cut this in lieu of the fact that this weekend truly begins a new chapter in this Lost Tomb episode, because the History Channel is coming to cut a documentary this weekend. And they're going to film here on our site, and it looks like they're going to be able to do some filming at the actual site where we believe this tomb is located. And I want to go in first of all and explain this book right here. Mystery Cave of Many Faces, written by Fred Reed Holm and Russell Burroughs. And this book details Russell Burroughs rediscovering a cave. Russell Burroughs never discovered anything, which we'll get to in a minute.
What?
But the two chapters in here that are most important are chapter 16 and chapter 58. And where he describes finding these crypts buried in the ground, and the chapter 58 is where he explores the main crypt. And in that description, he says he came across a solid gold sarcophagus with some ancient king buried in it. Well, that narrows it down. There aren't too many ancient kings that are buried in a solid gold sarcophagus, and there's not too many ancient stemas or
what
mausoleums that have 13 people and one woman buried in them. So most of the book is poppycock, but it is available as an ebook at our website, www.alexanderhelios.com.
But you can buy one, and I'll sell it to you.
We are also on Facebook, while I'm here mentioning
loves the drama.
Our video, our websites. IllinoisCaves.com.
It's a great
website.
Is
our main website. And we are on Facebook as The Illinois Caves. Now, we call it caves, but it truly is not a cave. It is a hand-hewn cavern system.
What?
Which is important, because people say, oh, caves don't exist there in Illinois. They are correct. This was carved out of sandstone. You have to have limestone to have a natural cave. This is sandstone. Now, there's like one or two instances in the world where sandstone does have a cave in it, but it's not here. Trust me. So anyway, the rest of the book, like I say, is pretty much rubbish, but those two chapters are undeniable. And how can someone make
It's
all
all
that
a
up?
bunch
I
of
don't
crap.
know. And a lot of people say, they'll come out and they'll say, Russell Burroughs discoverer of Burroughs Cave, or discovered a cave. And he didn't discover anything. In 1982, April of 1982, he was escorted down to the ravine system by a local lady who lived here. And before then, since the early 60s, this tube has been publicized heavily in all kinds of treasure books. And this treasure book here, Treasures of Indiana and Illinois, it's the inscription is captioned on page 20, right there where it is today. And here's another one. This is probably one of the most famous treasure books in the world, United States Treasure Atlas. Highly respected.
That's a cool
by
that book.
Thomas Terry. And
Thomas
it's in
Terry.
it's in this one here featuring Illinois on page 324, and it's listed as caption number 686. Anybody can read it, and they've got a picture of it right there, exactly
Any
where
old
it is.
moron
on top of
can
where
read it.
This is not a secret. And people say, "Oh, Russell Burroughs, he discovered this in 1982." It was recorded long before then. But a lot of these people that write articles, they may read some jealous person's information on the internet that really doesn't know what the story is, and they say, and a lot of people think that Harry Hubbard made this up, or Russell Burroughs made this up, or whatever. And there's a lot of people out there that call this tomb a hoax, and a lot of guys that come out and just out and out slander me because they are very, very jealous. That's the only reason I can think of. Like my buddy Paul says, if you're a very poor writer and you've got nothing to write about, just slander Harry Hubbard and you'll be fine, and you'll get people to read your stuff.
If you're trying to do a Twitch stream, you can't think of anything to do that week, and you're lazy, and you just want to do the same episode again, just do it about Harry Hubbard. And it's easy to do, and it really is, because he's got 1 million freaking videos. So that's his whole thing about the cave, is that Russell Burroughs, he didn't discover it. It was there all along. And my question is, where the hell did he get all these damn artifacts? Where do they come from? He's just trying to cut out the middleman. He's trying to cut out Russell Burroughs, the guy who supposedly discovered the cave. I don't want to look at the tablets anymore. Let's see, some more artifacts. Heads up. Helios head. Where did he get these artifacts? Huh? Oh my gosh. There we go. Photographed by Warren Dexter. He's got 1 million artifacts, and where did they come from? Can anyone recognize this famous personage is? They might be able to recognize this historical character even though his name is not carved on the tablet. His helmet gives him away. Interesting. They think that the son of Cleopatra, Alexander Helios, escaped from ancient Egypt and came to the U.S. That's pretty much their whole thing. That's what they believe. It's pretty bizarre. King Yuba. Babe with big boobs. Whoa. Okay, stop it. Let's check that out. Let's check out the babe with big boobs.
Oh, yeah!
Harry is horny making these carvings. Let's get a look at that. Note the exceedingly large mammary glands. Oh no. I'm looking. I can't stop looking. Another woman. Oh god. What a nasty man. I want to watch some about some of the tomb tape. So we skipped ahead a little bit. Itty bitty memory committee. We skipped ahead a little bit, but yes, he was on a History Channel show. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we're going to watch a little bit of the tomb tape, the classic tomb tape. The classic tomb tape for... featuring Horatio Rebnikar.
We're going to begin this Tomb Tape 4 by first showing the letter that was sent as a legal representation of the discovery. It is dated, you'll notice, July the 19th, 1994. To whom it may concern, upon this day, Paul... First two were basic practice runs, and by the third script we had answered all of the questions that we thought we could ask and had perfected the idea onto tape. So we made the Tomb Tape 3, which the initial Tomb Tape 3 featured several voices that were fictitious. So we were asked again to go and recut Tomb Tape 3 as it was with our regular normal speaking voices. So the famous Tomb Tape 3 is actually the second version of the Tomb Tape 3. And we tagged Tomb Tape 3 with more photographs and decipherments in the end and put an intro to it and sent that particular tape to the 12 embassies involved in October of 1994.
The 12 embassies. Imagine if you got some tomb tape in the mail. Like, what the hell is this?
Descriptions of the tomb recorded by layman authors in various books.
Tomb tape.
What was known as a Burroughs cave had been discussed as a controversial issue in certain circles for many years. We explained the alphabets we used in Tomb Tape 3 and began deciphering the stones with simple animals and symbols and systematically drawing in letters and words. Let's go to Tomb Tape 3 as a reference and hear Paul explain the decipherment of the first long Helios script. And we will see other decipherments after that also from Tomb Tape 3.
And the now famous Tomb Tape 3.
We look at another stone tablet from the Burroughs cave, and as so often the case throughout the Burroughs cave, there'll be a man's head, and his name will be carved underneath the head or somewhere on the face of the stone where his head exists. And right now we're going to find out who Helios is.
Helios. Who the hell is he?
Under reverse of the stone we have a bunch of script which describes this Helios. This is an extremely important recovery from the cave because it will give you exactly who this person was, what he was, and from what dynasty he came from. Over to the left, I have copied as best as I can the script that is on the stone, and looking at it, it is clearly the Etruscan script, the Etruscan. Here we have the backward F again, and we have numerous letters that are characteristic of the Etruscan script.
A lot of letters.
Now, this particular from the Latin as that this Helios under reverse is depicted as sworn by Jupiter to belong and represent his forefathers, the Ptolemies of Egypt.
This is exciting stuff.
This is the word for rivers. Let's look at the translation here.
Helios.
Tabula, map. Phleos, plural for rivers. Eube, of Yuba. De, by. Helios, flusu, singular river. Baetos, Baetum is the Baetis, the name of the river. Kaeli means inscribed in rock. Quos is there.
Our next public disclosure of more decipherments was held in spring of 1995 in Columbus.
Alright, who was discovering the tomb?
And in it also we show how the stories were concocted. We show a layout grid of the area and how the perpetrator had gotten from his hometown into the target area.
Target should have gone to Walmart.
This video also documented how the intruder used a series of treasure books to find his tomb.
This is meta stuff.
Let's go to this video that was cut called Searching for Alexander's Tomb.
So the tomb tape is just a compilation of all of his other tapes or something. This is so weird. He's still going on about the tomb tapes? I don't know what is going on. This is weird. I've never been able to watch all this stuff.
To be our new logo selected to accompany authentic historical information being released at this time. At this time, we wish to detail several of our statements and make our specific claims clear.
Let's figure this out.
First and foremost is the fact that Alexander the Great is buried in the Burroughs Cave. No decipherments contradict this claim, but all support it in some capacity.
All support it.
No one has brought forth any evidence to even slightly suggest different.
That's right. I would never be able to disprove
Our second
that.
claim is that the entire Ptolemaic crypt was brought to North America by Alexander Helios, a missing son of Cleopatra and Mark Antony, sometime after 25 BC. He was assisted to a very great extent by his best friend and trusted brother-in-law, King Yuba II of Mauritania.
King Yuba.
Our third claim is that the ancient Etruscan language from central Italy is a form of Latin in its agglutinative stage. If you are interested in this controversial issue, we will be producing a video series covering archaic Latin very thoroughly.
I'm sure
the first
they will.
tape of the series is now available.
What's it called? The Latin tape.
Our fourth claim is that there is absolutely, positively, no Ogham inscriptions in North America. No Ogham Consane, no hair Ogham, no beard Ogham, no teeth Ogham.
The hell does that mean?
We will be releasing our proof of this in another video production very soon concerning Ogham script and the decipherments of Ogham script.
Ogham script.
This claim is liable to make many very upset at us.
Out of here. Uh-oh.
But we have to do this in order to sustain the credibility which we therefore desire. The Michigan tablets are not old. This item is marked for discussion also on the Ogham tape to be released soon.
The Tomb Tape 6.
Our sixth claim is that the Paleo-Hebrew inscription at the Los Lunas site in New Mexico is also a modern-day forgery.
What? Michigan now are speaking my language. Enough of that Etruscan.
Claim number 7
Good
is
Lord.
that the Davenport steel is also a modern forgery.
I have a lot of claims.
This steel will be discussed in an upcoming video concerning several of these tablets from North America and their decipherments. Claim number 8 deals with the Ohio Decalogue, which we also feel is a modern concoction. We will be supporting our opinion concerning this issue also in an upcoming video. Claim number 9 will also be dealt with in our upcoming Ogham video.
Ogham.
And it states that there were no Celts ever living in Britain or Ireland in ancient times. We will be referring, of course, to the ancient writers, none of which record that the Celts lived in Britain or Ireland.
What?
Our 10th and final claim for this segment is that Welsh and Gaelic are not Celtic languages.
These are smart guys. They know a lot about language and linguistics. Oh my god. This is bizarre. Well, some of the stuff, they're really going at it with some of these other people that have made claims about different artifacts and stuff. So I did find a website that maybe will help us with that. Old World people in the New World before Columbus? This is bad archaeology. Leave your common sense behind. So it's talking about some famous people who've made some of these different claims, like this guy, Barry Fell. He developed interest in petroglyphs and pictographic art of the ancient Maori in New Zealand. He made a life-changing decision to abandon his echinoderm research and turn to the study of epigraphy found in the Epigraphic Society. He wrote a book called America BC, Ancient Settlers in the New World. Brought him to wide attention. He made lots of claims about old world scripts and different inscriptions across the U.S., supposedly created by these transatlantic voyagers from Egypt. Does that sound familiar? Interesting. He wrote all kinds of different books: The Bronze Age in America, Saga America, different Bronze Age Scandinavian texts discovered in Canada and stuff. How he created some artifacts. He was a freaking amateur. So, let's see. He had analysis about Celtic elements in Native American place names and languages. That was all fanciful. His identification of scratches on rock surfaces as Irish ogham, and that's what Harry was talking about, shows his lack of familiarity with the real ogham. I guess that's some kind of language or something. Made my artifact in the toilet. What? I don't have a sound for that. His belief in his own linguistic abilities was not matched by genuine linguist faith in him. Indeed, Fell worked in a scholarly vacuum, not engaging with genuine experts, publishing his own journals and all that kind of stuff. So this is a guy that sounds very familiar. Barry Fell. He was kind of a precursor, I guess, to Harry Hubbard, and probably inspired him to some extent. And Burroughs. Barry Fell. So he made all kinds of claims. He made all kinds of claims about ancient people in America. And there are other examples like this one, the Kensington Rune in Minnesota. And there's been doubts about that. And some other stones and things. I didn't know about any of this stuff. Like maybe about this one, this inscription here by some other people. This is a long article. There's the Holy Stones, an unusual wedge-shaped object, and we're not talking about aliens. This is the Newark's Holy Stones. A bunch of amateur archaeologists, and they all thought that it was Hebrew. They sent the inscriptions, and they did. So anyway, there's all these different examples of some of these weird artifacts, supposedly from ancient times, that have been found in the U.S. Why this sort of evidence doesn't work? So anyway, this is going in from the archaeological perspective of why this stuff doesn't hold up, these singular artifacts and their inscriptions and stuff, because there's no other evidence. So anyway, Harry is not the only one who's peddling some of these things, but in his video, he was going in on some of these other people, talking about, well, actually there wasn't Irish ogham, like this other guy claimed. So he was out for blood. He's the only one that knows what truly happened. He's pushing his own theories and all that. And he ended up going on the History Channel, which is good. The History Channel. Back in 2013, Illinois Caves was featured on America Unearthed. It was at 9 p.m. Eastern. So History 2 Channel and Alexander Helios, they're proud to announce the world premiere of the Illinois Caves episode. I tried to get my hands on this episode. I don't think I ever found it. It's hosted by the world-renowned forensic geologist Scott Walter and the author of the Tomb Chronicles, Harry Hubbard. He's the preeminent scholar. Had Irish ogham for dinner. What? Scott Walter. It was a fascinating episode. I wish I could watch it. It would be great. It would be great, and it would be crazy. It would be crazy. They traveled from Arizona to the Grand Canyon all the way to Illinois, to the site of the Illinois Caves. Harry did all kinds of translations of all these different artifacts. They're able to uncover a mystery which spanned the globe of thousands of years. They investigate the famous treasure trove. All these famous artifacts from the Illinois Caves. Whoa, like this one. And this one, some fantastic boobs. Oh, whoa, that looks like the devil. A bird man. Wow, chicken man. Some weird artifacts. Where did they come from? They came from the heartland of America. It proves that a colony of ancient mariners set sail from the Mediterranean Sea. That's what happened. This is a crazy stuff. So anyway, Harry's he doesn't like Burroughs, who was the guy who initially was said to have discovered the cave. So he went back and said, no, he didn't actually discover the cave. So anyway, this is all about the infighting and stuff between all these people, about who knows what and who really discovered what, and it's just crazy stuff. This guy has got a website where he's debunking some of these Burroughs things. Jason Colavito. And even the government issued a warning about that episode, America Unearthed. They reported this week that an Illinois state archaeology official asked viewers to exercise caution when evaluating claims about the alleged Egyptian artifacts of Burroughs Cave, which Illinois considers a hoax. Illinois shouldn't be too worried, though. While Walter in edited remarks betrayed no doubt that the Burroughs Cave's artifacts were genuine in 2009's Holy Grail in America, he later went on to record on his corporate website as declaring several Burroughs Cave facts a hoax. What? Oh, I gotta see this. American Petrographic Services. Interesting. This is the guy on the History Channel show. They use technology to analyze some of these archaeological things. Does it have Illinois Cave in here? Illinois Cave? Burroughs Cave's artifact, and they've called it a hoax. Oh no, Harry would be pissed if he found out about that. They chose not to disclose that the Burroughs Cave expert is the co-owner of Alexander Helios, an organization set up in the 90s to financially exploit the Burroughs Cave mystery and that of competing nearby caves across a series of media properties, DVDs, tapes, tomb tapes, all the like. He claims that Alexander Helios came to Illinois. This cave is 4.5 hours ago. Check it out. Check out the Illinois Cave. So he said go check out my website and check out the online shop. And he was attempted to sell some of his artifacts from prices ranging $45,000 to $2.5 million. If the artifacts were genuine and retrieved after 1989, sale would be illegal because the state forbids the removal of grave goods without a permit. The tomb tape. So this guy's got all the juicy stuff on Harry Hubbard and some of his crazy conspiracies. So there was a push to find some Egyptian stuff in America. There were modern claims about Egyptians in America. Egyptomania, spawned by the discovery of King Tut's tomb. And that's where Barry Fell came in. He had an epic quest to identify scratch marks around the world as evidence of Greco-Egyptian circumnavigation of the world by a sailor named Maui and Eratosthenes during the reign of Ptolemy. Wow. Egypt was an ancient mystery. Oh man, this stuff is crazy. The Fringe, in the 70s, the Fringe history craze started a series of fake antiquities that confirmed every aspect of America BC started to emerge from Burroughs Cave. But the Burroughs Cave artifact were so obvious that even Barry Fell himself confirmed that was in fact a poor copy of an illustration from his book, complete with Fell's own transcription error. What? And the guy who did the History Channel show, he's been interested in the Burroughs Cave. He discussed it on his channel, his TV show, Holy Grail in America. Oh my gosh, this is a really long article. This is crazy. The Egyptian Grand Canyon Cave. There's some theories about the Egyptians and the Grand Canyon, that they had some crazy cathedral and burial tombs in the Grand Canyon. Oh my god, I didn't realize how long this was. Oh, these are all the comments. I wonder if Harry has gotten down here in the comments. Dio Gowser. Geo Dowser. There's Harry. What are your qualifications for judging whether the artifacts are genuine? If you're relying on someone else, who is he, she, and what are his qualifications? If you cannot answer these questions, please do not expect anyone sensible to take you seriously. Of course, Harry got in on this website. He was also interviewed on this Jason Calvito. Let's see if I can find it. Harry Hubbard tries to sell me an ancient artifact. The Gozer. He received an advertisement from Harry Hubbard himself claiming to offer for sale a genuine piece of art straight from the alleged Greco-Roman Egyptian caves of Illinois. He's on the mailing list. I want to get on the mailing list. Might be interested in his attempt to profit off of alleged patrimony of Hellenistic Egypt. Whoa, there's a lot of money to be made off of these fake artifacts. Holy crap, the piece will stand up on its own. It's been reviewed at the reviewed at the forensic lab in Santa Fe, and maybe Big Jim helped review the ancient artifact. Clearly determined to be of ancient origin, but I didn't pay the money to have the complete paper documentation. Oh no. Marble has not been 100% confirmed, but I suspect it might be from Italy. Okay. It's a carving of the priest of Osiris, holding the Ankh and the Cobra. This piece has provenance from the Marion County, Illinois tomb, going back to the collection of Thelma McLean, being added to her artifact assortment in 1983. This piece has been featured in 2 recent video presentations, as well as 1 recent publication. This piece is delivered for $16.50, shipped in double boxes and insured. HH, brother. Whoa. So Harry's out here hawking his ancient artifacts to anyone who has a collection who believes this kind of stuff. He's a real swindler, that guy. And if he ever saw this video, he'd be pissed. Which is why we have to think of a different title for this so that he never sees it. And no one send it to him either. Let's watch some more Harry Hubbard videos. Is your mind melting right by now? It's a crazy Paul Shafrankie. And we'll get to some of his newer videos. Try to figure out what's going on with that. Robert Snook. My mind is blown. My mind just turns to pudding, aka Bear Boy. My mind just turns to pudding when I start getting into all this stuff. It's giving me flashbacks to episode 5 when I did this and tried
this next speaker, I'm trying to think how to correctly introduce it without.
And tried to do an episode. The sound is quite reverberated. Fair boy. Harry Hubbard. We're going to skip over Paul Shafrankie because that's not what the episode's about. But here's Harry. He's sporting a goatee. He's looking good. Let's bring on the main event. He's going to blow your mind. It was quite reverberated.
We've got to go back another 2,000 years and stay in that vein. And we are considered to be part of the UFO plan, UFO world. But I look at all these books. I've read all these books a couple times. You'd think that I would be into it. But to me, it's interesting knowledge. And I am a book collector, and I first got into some of the UFO stuff because some of them were some money. And I'm rereading some of them, and they're fascinating. Some of them are good, but they really all are pretty much
It's talking about UFO books or something. This is an 1.5-hour video. Can you imagine watching a video for an 1.5 hours? That's crazy. Why would you ever do that? He's got some long videos. This episode is going off without a hitch. It looks like someone videoing a TV. I guess this is his VHS. Dinosaurs.
And with all paleontologists that all dinosaurs and things that they find, there are certain things that flex them when they find.
This was in Lordsburg, New Mexico. This is a great video. Can't hear anything. There's a all out dinosaurs. Wow. It's too long. It's way longer than it needs to be. And no one say that about my show, please. Okay, let's where do we go from here? Well, it's all about Harry Hubbard. It's the Cool Stream Legends episode. And I'm trying to jump around and I'm trying to make sense of some of this stuff. I think maybe the videos are the way to go. Alexander Helios was his website. Let's jump back here because there was another weird thing. There's all kinds of weird stuff on this episode. If you can believe that. Alexander Helios. So he was on the History Channel show. There's different conspiracies. I'm trying to find something. Okay. So anyway, we talked about some of these epigraphic societies. People that study the inscriptions and stuff. And there was one in particular that I have looked at before. I've looked at their website. I wanted to see what they had to say about this. The Midwestern Epigraphic Society. And I've looked at their website before. So I went back and tried to check it out and was like, I don't recognize any of this stuff. Because for some reason the Midwestern Epigraphic Society, this is off track from Harry Hubbard, is a website all about how you can go to Singapore and meet a lady or something. And these are photos of the proprietors of this website. Brett and Lisa. They were expatriates who moved to Singapore. And it's clearly not pictures from the "this person doesn't exist" website. There's Brett. He's smiling. He's always friendly. Got an interesting story in SG. Grab a cup of coffee with Brett in Singapore. He likes hanging out. And there's Lisa. She needs a Starbucks coffee every day. No idea why, but that's the case. This is definitely real people. It's bizarre. How to meet discreet escort girls in Singapore. Only go for legal service providers and social escorts in Singapore. So he definitely knows the age of consent in Singapore and surrounding countries. So anyway, this is off track from Harry Hubbard, except that it has to do with here it goes. Except that it's run by the Singapore Tourism Department. So anyway, this was a website that was supposed to be about ancient inscriptions, and when I went to check it out, now it's about escort girls in Singapore. So that's kind of weird. And this picture of these people who definitely don't exist, and this is from that Google people don't exist thing. It's not real. It's really weird. So anyway, that's disturbing. People who want escorts in Singapore. Anyway, let's get back to some Harry Hubbard videos, because it's all about him today. He's our man. He's our man if he can't do it. And he's got all kinds of weird stuff these days that I don't understand. His videos are so long. This one's called Original Shamu, Harry and the Killer Whales. So let's get off from the stupid cave stuff and see some of his other videos. The Doctor of Reality. Anti-Singaporean sex work. I guess it's fine. It's, as long as okay, I'm not even gonna talk any more about that. The Original Shamu. I don't know what this is about. Of course, it's a VHS. And Harry, he's the Doctor of Reality.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to the first rendition of Shamu, Harry and the Killer Whales. And this video had to be age restricted, not on my behalf, but on my audience's behalf. Some of the comments from my audience are kind of out there.
Oh, he made a few adult comments.
I just felt like it would be better to put a mature audience kind of
Hope
flavor
it's not
to
about
this.
any of these escorts.
This was done in Denver in 2002. And in doing so, there were many things that came to light. People adding their comments as I went
hate
along
these
with my
commenters.
And I didn't know at the time that there was a Freemason in the audience.
What?
And he started saying things and adding things to it. And so for that reason and for a couple of other reasons, it has become age restricted.
Okay.
Now, after I did my
He's a real
first
doctor.
lecture, Paul came up and gave a lecture concerning his experience in the schools of Europe and the Benedictine order. And
What?
he
What does this have
decided
to do with
strike that from
Shamu?
this video. That's fine. It's his decision. And then I came up after him and explained more about the baby Shamu, which did not, the tape ran out,
What?
and
The
another
tape
one was
ran
not
out.
put in, so that is not recorded here, but it's on my other Shamu video. And you say, well, why put up the same thing twice? Well, this one's a lot different. This one's got a lot more crowd participation in it, and that's what makes it interesting.
I'm gonna read that.
Hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Harry Hubbard, and this is my associate, Paul Shafranca. And Paul lives now in Mississippi. I live in Illinois. And we're glad that you came here to our workshop.
Okay. So I was wondering, what are these little shadows here at the bottom? I thought they was like the MST3K guys, but I think he's videoing his TV, and these are like pillows or something in front of the TV.
And we're going to explore some things, and we're going to see why some things work the way they do. And to begin with, I need to tell you about some killer whales down in Florida.
What?
When I first moved to Florida in summer of 1985, they had a big publicity campaign about the baby Shamu.
He's a Florida guy. Baby Shamu.
The baby Shamu. And they had all the, if you've ever been in Florida, the amusement parks and entertainment facilities, they really plaster the television with commercials. And they have these little kids on there go, I love the baby Shamu. And they'd have kids saying, oh, we love the baby Shamu. And I was like, oh, wow, you know, the baby Shamu was the first killer whale ever born in captivity.
Florida man? Florida guy.
And then for a while in the news, it was in the news big time. They had
Shamu.
pictures of, like on the Channel 5 and Channel 6 news, you know, the baby whale was catching on real quick. It was swimming with its mother. It was doing all the same tricks that its mother and father were doing, and it was catching on with incredibly amazing speed. Well, something happened, you know, and you didn't hear about the baby Shamu anymore. Well, about 1980, well, it was like towards the end of 86, first part of 87, you hear again about the baby Shamu.
Baby Shamu.
And you hear all of it over again about the baby Shamu. Well, it don't take but a
We're
few
hearing
months
more
for a
and
killer
more
whale
about
to
it
get,
these
like, really
days.
big.
Baby
And this
Shamu.
kind of perplexed me. I said, well, what happened to this baby Shamu?
And Baby Shamu.
And I, working with the company I was working
You
with,
hear
at the
his
time, I started
fireplace in the
Cybertech
background,
Systems. I was working for a company
crackling of the
ETI
fireplace.
Electronics Incorporated.
Like Scamu.
SeaWorld was one of our customers. We did their submersible pumps, we did motors, pumps for them. And usually one of my employees would go out there to pick up the
He created Cybertech Systems. They did electronic stuff in Florida. This was after the Illinois cave stuff. So he's got his fingers in everything. His fingers in all the pies. And he did music stuff
We've been
too.
doing this pumps and motors for from time to time. So I went out there and
Baby
I asked him, I said, you know, sir, then finally got to the maintenance and we talked about our pumps and motors, and if you want to come in, come on in. And I said, I wanted to ask him about the baby Shamu. I said, what happened to the first baby Shamu? He said, well, it caught on really good, and it started doing the tricks better than its mother and father. He said it was incredibly intelligent. And he said, first thing we knew, it was taken out and isolated. And he said, to be honest with you, I don't really know what happened to it.
Maybe
Well, making a little bit
Shamu.
further
He
inquiry,
was so smart, he took over.
her name was.
I had to think about that one. What?
Shamu. Get a little weird there. I was like, okay, well, what was the baby Shamu's father's name? Shamu.
What the hell is this all about?
Well, guess what? They had another baby, and what did they name it? And since then, they've had several more, and guess what their names are? Shamu. Okay. Well, if they're all the same, how do you know which one is which? They can switch them anytime they wanted to, but it's all the same. But they're different. But you don't know which one is which. That is where we start.
The Shamu conspiracy.
They're all the same.
I don't know
so
what his point
which one is which?
If his point is that SeaWorld is bad and that exploiting animals like that is bad, well, on that point, Mr. Hubbard, we agree.
I've been there a few times, and we can see in our minds what your basic Christian church of today looks like. You have the auditorium here, don't we? And then you may have like a little stage area up here, and then you'll have like an altar here, or some people call it the Lord's table, and you'll have a pulpit here, and then you have a chair here, and a chair here.
And then you have Shamu!
Aren't they? Yeah, there's not a lot of variation. You come
What's
in
the
this way,
deal with Shamu?
and some churches even have a room back here to where you walk in, and then you see
Lord.
through the glass.
Let's just fast forward. I don't have time for this crap.
Cults of the shrine,
Okay, Shamu is the devil.
Knights of the Royal Arch, the Eastern Star.
Oh God. Of course. It's all about the freaking Masons. Like Sham University. Sham U.
Is the, I'm going to focus that in a little bit better. How do I do that?
So it's all about the Freemasons.
Oh, yeah, well, that's coming through it.
I guess.
And
Good
the
Lord.
italics at the very top of these are exactly what cult they are involved with.
They're involved with Shamu.
When you enter these cults,
You gotta, when you enter the cults, you gotta give a fish to
you have the
Shamu.
left side vice grand and your right side vice grand.
What does this have to do with
See
Shamu?
here, you can see the locker? Well, that's the locker, the same locker that's in all the...
Oh my God.
Ku Klux Klan.
What?
This is the imperial seal of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan.
Okay.
Different lodges have different patterns for their meetings.
Okay, so I don't know what Shamu is all about. Shamu! Oh, are you following this stuff? Does this make any sense? This is melting your brain. Just listen to this guy. This wacko. Well, let's check out another video, because this is the Coolstream legend. He's a legend. I had to check this one out, because he was wearing a crazy costume. Bum, 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 bum. Shampoo. I don't know. This episode is crazy. The magician, Harry Hubbard. Imperial seals eaten by the Imperial Shamu.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, into the maw of the great abyss. Together, we're going to dive down into the endless pit of Eden.
Wow.
And when we get down to the maw,
there.
we're going to swim around. And I'm going to show you things that you never dreamed you would see before. And if you get caught up in the current, you call out to me, and I will rescue you. That's why I'm wearing my life preserver.
It's the same guy.
So you know I'm on the edge, and I'm there for you.
This is an episode we're doing. Coolstream Legends. It's all about a legend in the Coolstream history, and this one's about Harry Hubbard, a.k.a. Horatio Rachmanar, or whatever. He was on an episode 5, about Illinois caves, and we tried to explain Illinois caves, and it went just about the same way as it did from episode 5. So now we're just going to watch some more Harry Hubbard videos and see if we can figure out what he's getting into these days.
I had to read thousands and thousands of pages again in order to present this to you. This has been years in the making.
Wow.
I could have done this 20 years ago,
Geos.
but I didn't know how to present it in a fashion that you would understand.
So I put it
We're
on
going to
YouTube.
explore the origins of Kabbalah, Zohar, alchemy, magic, divination, and sorcery.
Wow.
This video's not meant for everybody,
Running
But
Zoom workshops.
there are
I
some
wish.
that want to see it.
It's
And
scary.
there are so many people online today that just talk and talk and talk about Kabbalah, Zohar, the depths of witchcraft, and this and that. And they talk and talk, and they don't say anything. I myself, I may not have much to say, but I've got a lot to show.
It's a classic egomaniacal thing to say. I may not have much to say, but this video is 2 hours long, and I'm talking nonstop. And wouldn't that be a crazy thing if someone did a video that's 2 hours long instead of just them talking? That's weird. Why would you do that? And that's not what I do. So it's not a mirror.
We explore the maw of the abyss. Of evil.
Ma is a movie, the horror movie.
Origins. Where
Very
it comes
defiantly
from,
talks and talks.
where it is going. Thank you.
Here we go.
Kick off under the heading of Kabbalah, Encyclopedia Judaica, Volume 10, page 489.
It's not very long.
Introduction.
You're learning all about the Kabbalah.
Traditional and most commonly used term for the esoteric teachings of Judaism and for Jewish
The Great
mysticism,
Abyss.
especially the forms which it assumed in the Middle Ages from the 12th century onward. In its wider sense, it signifies all the success.
He's videoing the computer with his pointer. Hey, maybe you should download OBS and do your own show.
The history of Israel. Kabbalah is a unique phenomena and should not, let's go next page, generally be equated with what is known in the history of religion as mysticism. It is mysticism in
It's
fact,
theosophy.
but at the same time it is both esotericism and theosophy. So it's a hidden knowledge or secret.
It's a bunch of weird stuff.
Esoteric and also religious. However, Kabbalah may be considered mysticism insofar as it seeks an apprehension of God and creation, whose intrinsic elements.
I thought he was going to have more stuff in his crazy costume, but he's just talking about. We already know all this stuff. Theosophy, Kabbalah, and magic. Come on, Harry. We already know all this stuff.
Is the commentary on the 72.
The Tetragrammaton. We talked about that on one of our magic episodes. Don't know who he is, but he's the same guy.
This work contains 3 commentaries on the 72 lettered name. So a lot of these books have their commentaries. Everybody's got to have a
Everyone has their commentary.
They all got to have their commentaries.
You know, everyone's got to have their commentaries. What's wrong with these people? Seems to think theosophy just means religious, but it's not. It does not. We know all about theosophy. Don't mess with the Zohar. Oh God. Okay, we can't watch that. That's too much. So let's check out some stuff that he does. He's all into the stuff currency code. That's his new thing. And let me check and see if we have any other websites to pull up. We'll give a nod here to this website. It's since been offline. You might remember this from the Illinois Caves episode, Flavin's Corner, by the late Richard Flavin, and his website is also is the late website. It's not up anymore. You have to use the Internet Archive to look at it. Oh no! So if you want to learn more about the Illinois Caves, check out this guy's site. He's written all about Burroughs and Harry Hubbard and all their weird stuff they've got going on. He was Harry Hubbard playing the freak. So him and Hubbard got into it quite a lot. He was vicious. He was a Rebnikar. Currency code, which I call Bitcoin. Anyway, it's a cool website, but you have to use the Internet Archive to look it up these days. It's pretty interesting. So anyway, just wanted to remind everybody of that. Flavin's website is offline, but you can still get to it if you want to read some more about Burroughs and Hubbard. And this is all a whole lot of crazy stuff about all their emails and stuff. He got an email that said, I'd like to wish all you holes a happy Thanksgiving. It was sent to Burroughs with copies. All these other people copied. Not believing Alexander the Great's body was transplanted from the old world to southern Illinois by a UFO and being harassed by a punk probably doesn't rate particularly high on the sympathy scale. The kids were taking their shot. The kids is what he calls Horatio Rabnikar, aka Harry Hubbard. He tried to discover the real cave way back when. Remember that? Whew. The gold has never been seen. Okay, so that's one of the tabs we've got pulled up. I put forth all this effort. I put forth all the effort to pull up these tabs, so I'm just going to go through and see which ones we want to look at. So I wanted to talk about about his music stuff. So we got to get to that. He has some videos. We're going to watch some clips of these so you can hear some of that classic credit song that has since been remixed by our friend Turbo. He did some videos about the National Recording Corporation in Georgia, which has since shut down because the guy who owned it, Johnny, passed away. Oh no. He left a lot of debt behind, and they're trying to keep the NRC, the National Recording Corporation, going. But it has just stopped being profitable. This is their Facebook page, the NRC. They recorded a lot of music. And Harry Hubbard did some videos about him because he, I guess, recorded some music there. He used to work there or something. He's done all kinds of crazy stuff in his life, including discovering the cave. We'll get to the currency code, but I want to watch him doing the studio tour.
Very visual. And I don't have to argue with
music.
anybody. I can say there, without having to trust somebody's ear. My ears are trained, but most people's ears, they don't record licks all the time. And you have to show them things. And these are Yamaha NS10s. They're studio standard.
One thing you know about Harry is he's the smartest guy in the room at all times. So couldn't imagine trying to interact with him in any way. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I know all about everything. I'm the smartest guy on ever.
And we're going to start right here with these outputs.
And he's got all the wires and stuff. So it has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with the caves or anything. This is just him giving a tour of the studio, NRC Studios. He's a big music production guy.
Either way.
Some great music going on here on this video.
The next two cables is a studio
and he helped record this band, Glass Hammer, prog band.
Which we'll explain later.
Oh yeah, he's going to explain the oscilloscope.
The oscilloscope is a test piece of equipment.
Let's just check out the oscilloscope.
If I have any problems anywhere, distortions.
That's a great video.
Okay, now we're going to look at the rack. On the left-hand side of the mixing console.
We're going to look at the rack.
Right here. And first I want to show you just all these cables, this conglomerate. These are AC cables, and we've got analog cables, fiber optic, digital
miles of cables. Too many cables.
Everything is in here.
Too many freaking cables in here.
On the side here and on the bottom here are power strips.
So we're going to get to the famous song.
I've got them mounted like
and here
this
he is at the computer. He's showing you the computer. Let's see what he's talking about on the computer.
And then I can adjust the speed of the unit, the accuracy of the unit. And then I can actually come over here and set the vibrato. I've got 3 different vibratos so I can make someone sing like or sound like. And then I can adjust the
speed. Taking 90 minutes to explain how to make a sandwich.
And then I can adjust the delay. Exact. I mean, it's just so digital.
It's crazy. It's so digital. You can track it. So let's get to the famous. He's going to play a song and show you how this oscilloscope thing works. And wouldn't you know, it's the famous song.
Or la la la. Either way, I usually set it in the middle.
And he's going to play the famous song with his oscilloscope. It's got the candles and stuff. It's a great video. And I ended up commenting on the video to ask him about the song, and it's like a car commercial or something. He responded within a few hours, and it's so and so for a Chevy dealer or something. So anyways, he's going to show this oscilloscope, and it's going to play the famous song.
The oscilloscope and the analyzer work together. And we're going to show you that by playing a song off of this CD right here.
I would love to get a copy of this CD. Here it is. B-Wall. Thanks, B-Wall. Have a good one.
Okay, what you got with the oscilloscope, it is a machine that tells voltage and time. This is the volts, and this is the time factor here, okay? And
you can see the music with your eyes.
You can determine many things about that signal: the amplitude, the balance between left and right.
It's a great song.
Such that this is the left-hand side only, and this is the right side only. When you put them together,
it's like a car commercial or something.
And I can solo out any instrument that I want to and look at it. And I can see the wave shape, and I can see if there's any distortion in there. So between these two machines, you are seeing with your eyes what we are hearing in the control room.
B-Wall. Thanks, B-Wall. Have a good one. Ain't that cool? Ain't it cool?
I've used one of these machines for, well, I got my first oscilloscope, I think, in about 1981, 82, 1980. Maybe late 70s or something.
That's a classic song from the credits, from the original video.
I like to see
we love what the machines are doing.
I like to see if I've got a problem with a connector or an adapter or something.
Thanks, B-Wall. Have a good one.
And you can just tell anything in your control room.
It's so good.
You can just do anything with it. They're marvelous. And this is a single trace. I know guys that have the triples and the duals, but
they got the triples and the. Now, what other sounds do we have in here? That's the O-scope.
Check out the gams on that.
So I wanted to watch some parts of this part 2 of going into the big studio, because I didn't never watch that one. I didn't never watch it, not once. And maybe it has a cool song too. President of the National Recording Corporation, Johnny Carter, R.I.P. Maybe there's
while the music that is playing, we'll be showing you different items here in the control room and how they are responding and
I think it was a good idea to do a whole video on this guy that is just rambles on and on and on. It doesn't just make you feel like you're losing your mind having to hear this guy.
Like I say, this is an orchestrated piece, and one of the first things that will come up.
So if you had to interact with him, if you had to record your music with this guy, like, good Lord, we're gonna go back to the studio and Harry's in here.
I can see that everything is working right. Or not.
La 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 la.
Would you invite them to meet you on Monday?
It keeps going. Another hour-long video. There's the candles. Ooh, that's a good setup. Stacks. Cut it. Got the stacks. La 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 la.
Okay, and we're going to go out. This is door number 1 right here.
We're going to check out the restroom.
And I want you to show you right here. These are my spare cables and stuff that I have.
Whoa.
Got
all kinds of spare cables.
That's about half full of cables. These are just the ones that I use all the time. And this is door number 1. Come back in here.
We don't know what he's doing. He's touring the studio.
Okay.
NRC Studios.
And this is an isolation booth. All right. And this is the restroom. And this is where I can put a vocalist, set up a vocalist or a guitar amp, or put the guitar player. It all depends. This is a multifunctional room. And
you can do all kinds of stuff
it's
in
just here. I use the soundstage.
What I would do is I'd jump out of that room, I'd lock the door, I'd lock Harry in there, and he could just go on and on for hours, and I wouldn't have to listen to him. Not many videos show you the spare cables. This is some real behind-the-scenes stuff.
They never know the difference. And this right here, I got this big rug here.
Got it from Pier 1.
So that people can walk on my cables here and not do any damage. Now, and I'll just explain this. This line here is my Cat 5 for the DSL. That's my computer line. And this right here is the big snake coming from the box.
It's the big
out
snake.
In the soundstage, which we'll explain, and going into the control room. This is
That's
it
the
here.
big snake.
And these 2 lines here are headphone cables. One of them goes to the headphone system, and the other one comes back to the headphone system. to my headphones in the control room.
Got my trusty rug to cover up my cables.
It smells nice in here, even though it's got all this carpet. I got this little thing here, and I burn candles in here.
All the rooms are fragrant.
You know, even though it's carpeted, I try to make the place smell nice.
It smells like crap.
And now, let's go out another door.
It smells like crap in there.
Okay, Jen.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to look at the sound stage. And the sound stage is out there. And to get there, we have to go out door number 2.
Airlock.
Go into what we call the airlock.
Is this an air? This is also the load-in bay. What?
And this is the airlock.
What is that? What is this? The International Space Station with an airlock in there? The hell?
Into the sound stage. And we're going to start here.
Is this one of the tomb
these devices
things?
Here. These are called soundeliers. I called them that after a chandelier, but it's a sound chandelier.
It's a soundelier.
A soundelier. And I actually invented
It's a great life hack.
They are modular, and they hang on chains. I can raise them up and down to all different lengths of chains I've got here. I've got a whole box full of them. And I can make them put them anywhere in the studio here to change the acoustics. I can put them around a cabinet, I can put them around a player, a singer, and I can change the way that
That's
the room
interesting.
sounds. And like, well, for instance, Friday morning I've got a gig, and what I'll be doing, I'll just show you one.
Let me just show this soundelier.
This.
Now, don't they make like foam partitions that you can just move around in the studio? But this looks like a rug attached to like a wood cylinder of some sort.
See, what I'll be doing is I'll be hanging up a row of them like this.
Hanging up some soundeliers.
Okay. And then I'll be sliding a barrier.
Okay.
Like that.
So known as gobos. This is high-tech stuff.
And they'll have a row across the top here, like that. And then I'll probably put another set of barriers in back of it here. And speaking of barriers, these are sound barriers, and they separate people that are playing, but they also kill outside noise, same as with the soundeliers.
All right, the soundeliers.
Is a cardioid, or actually a hypercardioid. When you flick it right there, that means that this microphone is going to pick straight
in front of it. It's going to pick up more or less straight. Oh, and kind of like this. It's going to be more central.
This is 16 minutes into the video. Let's jump ahead to some other stuff.
Sure got the mic set up. Let's see where the soundaliers are here from here.
The soundaliers.
Auxiliary bus. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe my
Okay. I can't handle this guy anymore. It's driving me insane. I thought this was a good idea to do a video all about Harry Hubbard. It's driven me nutty. Well, let's do one more, and then I cannot handle this guy anymore. It was a great idea to do a whole episode on him. It's going off. We need to get Harry on Twitch. Well, he's got a new thing. It's all about the currency code. And that's what he was talking about with that red pill guy.
I'm not only going to be showing currencies, actual paper money currencies.
So this is his newest thing about the currency code.
Bring in some nostalgia and show different forms of currency. In this case, it'd be coupons or stamps. And these were really big in the 1960s and 70s. And you'll notice here, this is the S&H green stamps. Here's the 50, the 10.
Yep, that's them.
And if you're less than 50 years old, I don't think anybody would even remember these.
What the hell are these
things? Top
things?
value stamps. And here's some gold bond stamps. Oh, these were the three
gold
biggest
bond
ones,
stamps.
Or most popular stamps when I was growing up in my area. But there were others as well. You can look up and see a lot about these. But I'm going to just point out some things. Is that you'll see that these stamps, they all had stick-em on the back, which I'll explain here in a little bit. And you notice the cut. Here's got three big ones. This has got separated medium
three
size
big ones.
And this particular model here has medium and small, tiny holes in the perforations. This one has, the top value here, has two holes out here that are medium. Then there's one in the center there that's a little bit larger. And then you've got two on each side and then two on the ends. And here you see the sequence of perforations here where you tear the stamp and then you were to lick it in one of the books on the show.
Well,
partly what got me into a lot of this is when my father and uncle had presented me their stamp books, their stamp collections. I was measuring them with the,
and he found out
scales, metal scales. I like the metal ones.
And he found out some kind of code with these stamps or with old currency or something. You can measure stamps? What?
How they are, etc., etc.
What?
And you can, get the idea and write it down and put it in a category or however you want, but you learn from it. And what got me was that when I was studying these books, there were these countries that were tiny little countries. I mean, just very small, obscure. You never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
In the late 1800s, early 1900s. And they were thousands of miles apart. Well, how did all like 4 or 5 of them, all of a sudden on the same year, get a triangular shaped stamp?
What?
That was identical with the perforations.
Huh?
And how did that happen? These were they obviously didn't know each other, and certainly they didn't have any presses to print stamps. But what I want to take your notice to is that when you're printing stamps, this is a special type of printing press.
Special
this
stamp.
Isn't something like ordinary.
Okay, so his thing is all about these countries that didn't have currency or something, and they had stamps too. What? There is a special machine that prints them out. I've never heard of these stamps.
I'm sure many people who see this will remember the S&H green stamps.
I've never heard of this before.
Now we're going to jump back into some nostalgia.
Wow.
These are things that I grew up with.
That's cool. What about this currency code? He's looking at old magazines, Corningware. Look at that there.
Look at that. Wow, wow.
It's the freaking Illuminati. They printed stamps or something, and you could buy stuff with them. He's just looking at old... What's that? There's Alexander Helios right there. Oh, baby. Okay, here we go. Here's the currency. Let's see the codes.
And I sold
It's
them
the
all.
state
I was
of
gonna be
Georgia.
traveling all around the country, and I didn't want to be burdened with them or risk storing them somewhere. Remember, we had hurricanes and floods in Florida quite often, and so I'm just showing some of
Mechanic
these.
Savings Bank of Savannah.
Beautiful.
That's pretty cool. He's just showing off his coin collection. All right.
But look at these. Some of these are just beautiful.
That's pretty cool. Okay, what about the currency code? I can't end the show until I figure out something about the currency code. Confederate money. You need to know something, you big idiot. It's good. Confederate money. It's good. Well, I can disagree with that. I'm trying to figure out the currency code. I'm not making any sense. That's a good looking bill right there. Yeah. Paul had a laugh with his new discovery. What is that all about? Wow. Wow.
There's a couple of things here I want to show.
What?
We're going to look at the thickness of this one.
And it's tiny.
Set it in there. Come on.
The currency code. It's about
1.5.
1 micron.
Can you see that? I'll lay it down here in a minute.
Thick. It's the third best, Georgia.
1.5.
That's too thin, as far as I'm concerned. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I've made it this far.
1.5.
I'm trying to figure out the currency code, and
1.5.
I probably should end the show, but I'm...
And trust me, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very fragile piece of paper.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, that is very special, Paul. This is incredible. I never heard of that. I said, but it's just a funny thing, man. It's in too good a condition. So evidently what happened is back in, now they're considered to be from 1838.
What?
1838. And there was one advertisement I saw that said it was from 1850.
What?
Made. I don't know what their wallets looked like back then, but
this is the currency code. This is making...
I like to give out these type of things as gifts, just for fun, and that was the only one available.
Okay, well, we made it this far. We're gonna have to end the show now. It's been about 2 hours. And what's the deal with people making these long videos talking about nothing? Well, that's what you get when you get into Harry Hubbard. Doesn't make any damn sense. We couldn't figure it out for the life of us, and we made it to the end of our music here. So this is the music that is playing us off to end the show. I can't summon the strength to do any more stuff about this guy because he's a crazy weirdo oddball. None of his videos make sense to me, and I've tried to get some laughs, tried to discover some new stuff about our old friend Harry Hubbard. He's a cool stream legend. And after this episode, you might not ever want to hear about him ever again. And I don't think that I do. But it was fun talking about him and talk about some of the crazy stuff that he got up to with the Illinois caves and all that. And we heard the classic Cool Stream credits song, and I'm sure a lot of you wished that we would have ended the show then. But we went a little bit longer to try to discover the currency code, and we didn't get anywhere with that. So if you want to go back and watch that video and tell me what happened, be my guest. But as far as I'm concerned, Harry Hubbard is a cool guy, and he got up to some crazy stuff. And so that's pretty much all we got to say about that. Thanks for watching the show. Thought it was great. Thanks, Howie. Thanks, everybody. We're feeling better now about the state of things, and we had a lot of fun watching Harry Hubbard, some of his weird videos, and revisiting some of that cave stuff is kind of cool too. So anyway, the song is playing me out here, and that's all we got to do for the show now, is end the show. And I got to get some stuff pulled up first before I end the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on
The Cool Stream.
And that's the end of the show, and that's...
The Cool
And we'll
Stream.
see you next time on The Cool Stream. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching The Cool Stream with Beowulf. Boy. cool stream.
Beowulf.
Thanks, Beowulf. Have a good one.
Beowulf. Would you invite them to meet your mother?
I call myself a philobibliac.
Thank you, Beer Horse.
Check out the gams on that buzz, friend.
Hell yes.
Ooh, it's so good.
I call myself a philobibliac.
Check out the gams on that buzz, friend.
The cool stream.
Better back off. I'm getting pissed.
Thank you, Beer Horse.
You best better back off. I'm getting pissed.
Look at that. Wow, wow.
Hell yes.
Currency was available at this price point, do you think I would have had one?
Oh, I'm sure you would have.